So guys, I think I've done it. I found the most overhated MCU project. And for a while, I thought it was something like, I don't know, Dark World or What If. Or not Dark World, Iron Man 3 or What If. Dark World, you can hand that all you want. I hate that movie too. But Ironheart is now my clear number one. Because IMDb has it at a 4 out of 10 or a 3.9 out of 10, which if you don't understand how bad that is, She-Hulk has a 5.2. Falcon the Winter Soldier, I think, has a 5.8. Those shows are awful. This show is nowhere near that bad, but it's rated a 3.9. I'll talk about why later, but it does not deserve that episode or that ranking. I think the lowest an episode goes for me is like a 5 out of 10 because it's pretty meh, and that's the first episode. I don't think has a solid start. But like overall, I think the series is pretty solid. But I'll get into it. So first thing is how obviously people say this had basically no marketing, and it came out in 2 batches because Marvel didn't want it to come out and just chucked it in there because they don't want anyone to know because it's a bad project. I disagree. I don't think it's bad. Don't think it's a great. I just think it's solid. I will say the first half is clearly worse than the second half. Like, I say the second half is actually pretty good. Then the first half is, it's fine. I think the third episode reels into what would be more of a, I guess, higher quality-ish thing than the second half. Like, if I were to rate them, the first half would be like a 5.4, 5.5. Then the second half would be like a 7.7. Like, I think the second half is pretty good, but the first half drags it down. I will say I like Riri more as a character. People I saw, like, Critical Drinker, but don't trust that guy, say how she is a narcissistic loser who just disrespects Iron Man, I'm gonna give her that because that's kind of the whole point of her character progression, that she goes from this crime narcissistic person into someone better, but still isn't like a flawless hero, which I like. But anyways, also would like to mention what was my other critique that I just said for her. Oh yeah, she's ruining Tony Stark's legacy. I do think some of the lines, like how it implied that she thought Tony Stark wasn't qualified, but he did make good improvements to the field, was weird. I didn't like him. But, like, is she wrong that Tony Stark couldn't make the suits that he made in, like, the later movies or even in Iron Man 1 without his billions? I don't think so. Like, think about everyone brings up how the line of Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. Everyone brings that up. But think about it, that suit sucks. It's like Riri's proto suit from Iron Man or from Wakanda Forever. It sucks. It worked once and it's not good. It's horrible. It broke down, malfunctioned, crash landed. Like, it's not a good suit. Then when they got their money, when they got what they needed, Riri and Iron Man, they made their Mark 1 or what's the steel suit Mark 0. I think it was Mark 0. Anyways, they got that and there were flaws and it broke down. Then Tony refined it with his money, again, with what he had, his genius, his money, to make a good functional suit. That's basically what happens in this show. Like, Riri got the supply she needed and she failed. She failed just like how Tony did at the start. When she didn't have the money, they both made bad suits. When they got something, but they couldn't exactly complete it, I don't know. I don't know exactly what to say about that. They failed. And then, when they actually get the resources and the things that they know and need, it succeeds. And also, Riri merges it with dark magic, and that's dope. Also, how she wants to live up to the legacy of Iron Man. Wouldn't that imply that if you want to live up to someone's legacy, that they are better than you? I don't know, maybe I'm stretching with that one, but she clearly doesn't disrespect and dislike Iron Man. She also got Stark Industries schematics. So, like, clearly, she Point is, I don't think this show really disrespected Iron Man's legacy. I mean, it barely focused on it. It was more about Riri and Parker and the Hood. That part was probably the best part. Parker and the Hood and the dark magic and stuff behind that was obviously the best thing about this show. It's what everyone got hyped for. The people who were hyped for this show. It was for this, and it was definitely the coolest and most interesting part. Parker is a good villain. Riri is a nice protagonist. She's fine. And honestly, here's what I will say. Parker, while being probably the best character in the show, and he has the most interesting thing, his cast, like the side characters he's with, are not good, like at all. Some of them had enjoyable moments, but like I didn't like them. Yeah, which also kind of went to a problem, which I'll get to in a second when I talk about Riri's characters. Riri had the least or less interesting idea and story about getting over Gary and Natalie and their deaths and stuff like that. But she definitely had the better cast. I thought Natalie was fun, and I think the actor portrayed it well. Her mom was good. I think she was a good character. The apprentice of magic that wanted to go to Carmartage. Also, I do like how they reference things like Caecilius, Dormammu, had someone from Carmartage. Why can't I say it? Anyways, I like how they did all that. I think it's cool. I like how we're kind of having it so that normal day, every people have these powers. Like, I don't think that's showcased enough. Where it's just like basic people you're wearing on the street, they own a shop with magic. They have magic and these powers. I think that's cool. Anyways, back to the stuff. I think this show may use too much slang. I think it gets a bit annoying sometimes when it kind of feels like a bunch of slang is thrown into your face and they're like, I think they say bruh a few times and they do stuff like that. Maybe it's just because I'm not like in that culture. I'm not from Chicago or anything like that. Maybe that's why. And maybe that's just, like, actually how it is around there. But I feel like they tried to be too trendy, I don't know. I think it isn't exactly a problem. I just kind of noticed that people were using, like, internet slang. Or at least I think so. Like, I heard these words, and I'm like, why are they using slang in this show? I think it was a bit weird. But I don't know. If there's a reason, tell me. There probably is, and I'm just missing it. But, yeah. Now let's talk about the best thing. The finale was definitely the best episode. It stuck the landing. I think it's pretty darn good. And obviously, Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto is easily the greatest part. Introducing Mephisto after, 4 years since WandaVision is great. It's crazy. I love it. What else? Yeah, I think he does a great job. I like how Riri is an agent of Mephisto. Parker being agent of Mephisto. Mephisto's just in that episode carried. It was so good. Especially, like, Parker was good in that episode. Riri with her dark magic and suit was nice. Her actually bringing Natalie back and making a deal with the devil, in my opinion, was great. I'm glad she wasn't just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. She did it. It was good. I also like the line from Mephisto that I think it's just hilarious that Ringo is an agent of Mephisto. And that's how he became that's how he got into the Beatles, because, I believe it's like, the guy instantly before it became popular, there was this guy, and he got kicked out. Then Ringo replaced him. And then, boom, they became world famous. So I guess it was all because of Mephisto. Anyways, I thought the series was solid. I think I'd give it between a 6 and 7 out of 10. It was fine. It was good. But do not trust the IMDb for this. Like, don't trust it, because you have all the people who are like critical drinker, nerd erotic, and their viewers where it's like, oh my god, this is so woke, and they're the MCU woke people who just are like use that as a excuse to not like a project and give no actual critiques. That's why I hate critical drinker and nerd erotic as reviewers, and I don't think they're that good, and I don't get why they have. Anyways, those people who just bomb it with 1-star reviews, and I know there are some genuine like people who just don't like the show, and that's fair. But I feel like a lot of it's just those people who just say it's woke, and that's it. Give it a 1-star review. Like, people just don't watch the series, just hear that it's bad, or don't even hear that it's bad. It's just like you just want to hate on Marvel, which, I mean, do what you do, and then just give it a 1-star review, but before you even watch it, or the whole thing comes out. Anyways, don't trust it because you have like 50% of the 1 stars, and I feel like the people are trying to outweigh that by review bombing it with 10 stars. Obviously, it's not a 10-star series. It may be to you. Not, I feel like that's not the consensus. It's a solid 6 or 7. If you want to listen to any reviews for the series, from IMDb, listen to the one at like from the 5 to 7 range, because everything else, like beyond like 8 to 10 and 1 to 4, or 1 to 3, I feel like are just heavily stupid and just got review bombed. So, yeah.